Hi, folks. Thank you very much for joining us after the premiere of episode what 321, I believe. I see that Candace Lochner is here. Welcome, Candace, and Kimberly is here, and I bet Brenda's here. I saw Brenda in the premiere, and so I imagine that she is here, or if not, will be soon. I believe. So is Brina Boo. Brina Boo, welcome. Thank you for being with us. So, folks, tell me a little bit about what stood out to you about this story, about this episode that we just finished. Um, one thing that stands out to me, if April's here, she can attest to this, is is the space where we were shooting in. It was a really interesting place. It was a kind of a cool kind of place to be in because it was a Harley Davidson dealership, but it was not a cool place in that it was not a cool place. The air conditioner was out. And so there were some stories that we did there that were a little bit challenging. Hello, Tracy. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Angela Guzman. Angela, are you new to being a part of a live event? Is this your first one? I'm asking because I don't recognize your name. I'm sorry. I have to look at my phone now and then because we have some stuff coming up and we have to do some planning for that. One of the things we have coming up is we're going to be doing a summit in San Antonio, Texas, a storytelling summit in short order, just a couple of weeks from now. So that'll be that well like 3 weeks from now. The text he had with his friend saying he didn't want to die and don't bring fentanyl. Yeah, that was powerful. It was because he knew about it. He knew about it, and he trusted his friend. But also, the friend knew about it, and the friend probably trusted someone else, the source that he got the pill from. Angela says, I watch a lot of the shows. Well, thank you for being here. Is it all the fentanyl stories that you watch, or do you see some of the addiction recovery stories? Maybe some of the stories about cannabis-induced psychosis, or stories about domestic violence or human trafficking. Any of those? Candace says you can't trust anyone. Sad world we live in now. There are There's sad things in the world, but there is also beautiful things in the world. You can't just you can't just focus on the sad, or that's all you'll see. That there are beautiful things. There are even beautiful things within the things that happen in and around the fentanyl family community. the amount of generosity, the amount of support that happens between family members. Those are all really, really amazing, beautiful kinds of things. So there's that. See, Tracy says, thank you everyone for all your love and support. And yeah, there is this is a room full of love and support right here in this live event. And during the during the recording of the interview at the Harley dealership, uh, there's a wonderful bit of bonding going on just between the people that were there. And with the air conditioner out, there were people there that were figuring out ways to get fans on whoever the storyteller was. Not a lot of attention given to putting a fan on me, but for the story, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm 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 playing April. Brenda says I always knew I was getting fentanyl. When I quit, I was shocked to learn of users who thought they were buying real oxycodone 30 milligrams. The M30s, the blues. Okay. It was so hot. Yes, Tracy. It was pretty warm. It doesn't on some of the storytellers. We've had commenters say things like, "Well, is she really nervous? Is she going through withdrawal? What's happening?" And it was hot. The air conditioner was out. It was a little bit of a challenge, but we got through it just fine. Midwest Mama, glad you're here. Hello, April. Xanax bars, oxy, heroin, everything anymore. Meaning all of those things can have fentanyl in them. Is that I'm guessing that's the point of what you're saying. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm getting the audio right. Like I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So what else? What else stood out to you about the story? I think there was there's a wonderful thing about the way Tracy talked about the story that was very. This is just the way it is. There was a kind of not not callousness, but there was a kind of casual comfort that Tracy demonstrated in the course telling the story. And holy cow, she went through so much. Midwest Mama says, yes, even marijuana people cut things so much. It's crazy. Yeah, it's not realistic to think there's anything out there that 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 you can trust. Even if it's coming from a trusted friend, the friend can't. know beyond where they got it. They can't know. They're not in the. They're not where the pill was manufactured. They're not watching it happen. They're not seeing the measurements take place. They're not seeing the ingredients being mixed. None of that. They didn't see any of that. So they can't know. Just can't know. But there is. They believe. It's crazy. Where am I here? Let me see. Uh, I consider you all family now. I've been to numerous groups, and this was the first time I genuinely loved and connected. Well, well, thanks, Tracy. I think that's awesome for you to find that space, and I'm sure I should know this, but I don't. Are you in our private Facebook group? For those of you that are here with us right now, we have a who don't know, we have a private Facebook group it's called Texas Picture Storytellers, and it's made up of people who have shared stories with us and people who want to share stories with us whenever we get to whatever part of the country they're in. And that way we have this space where when we set up a new summit, like we have this summit coming up in San Antonio and then Foley, Alabama, and then probably Memphis, Tennessee, and then maybe Kentucky right after Memphis. I don't know. But in the group, we announce those storytelling summit events first. So the people in the group get first crack at signing up to pick a time to be interviewed and share their story. And that's part of the function of the group. The group also is a network where people go back and forth and are supportive of each other and help people. A lot of the people in the group have nonprofit organizations that are trying to do things to make a difference in the fentanyl world, and and people support each other. There's also a couple of trolls. There's over 600 people in the group, so yeah, trolls happen. Let me see where I'm at here. April, Glenn, at the end when Tracy talked about Michael losing his battle with leukemia, I just about lost it. I just lost it. Two sons a year apart is too much for my mind to understand. Yeah, it's powerful. It's terrible. And I remember that part of the interview, and I didn't know it was coming, and I'm back there listening to this, and but in my head I'm going, wait, what? It it felt like it felt like the story was kind of wrapping up, and then that. Yeah, so it was tough. So Angela says yes, but they know the risk. Yes, but they know the risk. Kimberly says, April, my son told me that a guy told him that his mom just got poisoned from his dad by fentanyl. Yeah, there's a few stories out there that are a little bit extra. I don't know what you would say, extra nefarious, where fentanyl is used as a murder weapon. There's a few stories out there that I've heard. Tracy says Glenn and Patrick's experience, his friend did know. He had a pill press and intentionally pressed it. Him and his mother. Yeah, I didn't mean. I realized this friend knew. But gosh, had a pill press. Hmm. April says, yes, Brenda, losing more than one child to anything is a horror feeling. Your body and mind break down. And Kimberly says, Tracy, that's not really a truly good friend of your son's. Yeah. And the mother that video recorded, Midwest Mama says, such a wild world, and the justice system only does so much. What I've learned is that the justice system is more than anything about money. That being able to afford a really good lawyer, that's the big determining factor between an acquittal and a conviction. Whoops, lost my spot. I'll be there. Oh my God, Tracy, him and the mom. Little pots, little poots. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was talking about the group before. It's called Texas Picture Storytellers, and you may not be able to find it because it's a private group. So to join the group, there's a couple of ways to join the group. You can you can email me, and I will try to send you an invite by email through Facebook. But I'm told that doesn't always work. We can also, if you friend me on Facebook and then send me a Facebook Messenger reminder to invite you to the group, then I can do it that way, and that works very well. Also, if you know anyone who is in the group, like April or Kimberly or a couple of others that are in the group right now, if you know any of them, they can invite you to the group as well. Anyone who is a member can invite members, even when they shouldn't. But we have great faith in our membership. April says she missed a few minutes. Okay. April says, great, Tracy. We will let your other son ride too, even though it was a different reason. He's still an angel. Hugs. I'm so sorry. The rallies, the rallies, and things like that. The places where people get to come together. It's not the rallies are for the living. It gives the living a chance to honor their missing loved one among the living. And to share and to bond and grow. So yeah, it's great to include the other son, April. Midwest mama, they know the risk, but usually think they have a tolerance. And that's true, they do. And they do have a tolerance. But they don't know what the dose is. That's the big glaring issue with fentanyl is illicit fentanyl in a counterfeit pill or you don't know the potency, you don't know the strength. You can't two pills that look identical can have different doses. Candace is asking Becca, are you in Tulsa? So yes, little pooch and anyone else, little pooch. Uh, anyone who wants to be part of the group, the easiest way is to message me on Facebook. Uh, Become my Facebook friend first. Send me a friend request, and then message me asking me, reminding me to invite you to the group, or find anyone who is in the group and get them to invite you, or maybe there's someone you already know who's part of the group. Candace figures all the fun, good, and joyous people are in Tulsa nowadays. Really, Tulsa is that a thing, Brenda? Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hmm. Candace says, "Ha ha, Brenda, I'm such a homebody now." Kimberly says, "Glenn, I'm thinking of doing fentanyl awareness next month." That's awesome. There are great network of there's a great network of support in a lot of major cities. I'm sure that there's something in Memphis, some sort of awareness group, maybe a harm reduction group. Some of those kind of operations can do a lot to help you. Brenda says, Becca May, I got my undergraduate degree at East Central University. Such fond memories. And Tracy says, Glenn, I wanted you to know that I've been stopped while shopping many, many times while wearing the storyteller shirt. So I get to spread awareness. I love that. Yeah. The storytellers are the storyteller shirts to me are kind of I don't know, kind of cool. Hmm. Just I don't know. Just I think they're really powerful, and we've heard from a couple of other people who've said something similar that uh, there was someone there's someone who's at a Costco wearing a storyteller T-shirt in Arizona and managed to see someone else in a T-shirt that said "F fentanyl," and they connected. Candace, I hear Brenda says, Candace, I hear you about the only way I leave the house is when I run out of Diet Coke. I need to learn how to have it delivered. Well, you went to Toby Keith's place. You gotta get out now and then. It's just gotta be a good enough trip for it to be worthwhile. Kimberly says, Tracy, I feel your pain and hurt. And Midwest Mama says it's all over Southwest Missouri, everywhere that connects to it too. I left what? April? What? I left mine. Like B, I better start wearing mine too. Maybe there's another way to say that. I don't know how to interpret that. Maybe it's me. And I went to public schools. I don't know. But uh, I don't know what you're saying. Two dead skunks. Yeah. So I may have mentioned to some of you we're going to be starting a new series soon on our channel that is in line with the other kind of topics that we address on our channel. It's definitely what I think is a story that matters, and it's a story that involves families and parents. Midwest Mama says, I want a shirt. How much? I know you've probably told me before, and the $17 coffee mugs. This is a $19 coffee mug, I believe. Could be 17. I'm not sure. Let me just. The T-shirt, the T-shirt that we're talking about. On the front, it has this logo with the uh, banner across it that says storyteller. Rat on a Cheeto, yeah. And so on the back, I'm doing this wrong. I'm trying, folks. So here's the thing. You can't buy these shirts. There is about I'm gonna probably about 400 of them out there. The only way to get that kind of shirt, the storyteller shirt, is to be a storyteller. That's it. What happens typically after an interview, at the end of the interview, we give the person who did the interview their shirt. Midwest Mama says, I think bullying and suicide awareness stories matter. Sad subject, but the numbers have gone up. Yeah, we have one story that is about suicide. I think that topic would be a great, powerful topic, but it is definitely a challenging topic because the word the S word, is is a sensitive word with YouTube, and for good reason. They don't they have a lot of video to sort through, and so that word is certainly a flag. But I could see a series on our channel that isn't specifically or directly about suicide, but is about all of those symptoms that lead up to it. When there's time to help. And so we are open to doing a series. It's really just a matter of finding a pathway that will work to bring people who have experiences they want to share to us. And we would call the series, I think the best name for the series would be Reason to Live. Brenda says, hit the like button. That's right. With her whole rainbow coalition there, hit the like button. Midwest Mama says, my friend Cole just passed from fentanyl. I could tell his story. And Kimberly says, I'm a story for your friend. Why isn't fentanyl a sensitive word too? Well, I can tell you it kind of is. Now, it seems like for the most part, we've sorted out a lot of it now. But when we first started putting up these stories about fentanyl poisoning, they would get flagged and restricted by YouTube a lot. In just a surplus of caution. Hello, Stephanie. Thank you for joining us. I don't think I've seen your name here in the live event before. Are you new? Brenda says Midwest YouTube is weird on what drug words are okay and which ones they flag. It's like trying to talk through a minefield. Yes, it is. But over time, YouTube starts to know the type of content to expect from a channel, like from us. And it kind of seems like we get uh like we get the benefit of the doubt from YouTube fairly regularly now, whereas we didn't before. So Stephanie says it's been maybe a month ago. Okay. I forget. I just didn't recognize the name. I hope things are going well for you, Stephanie. Can you remind me what part of the country you're in? So the series that we have coming up that we're going to start recording interviews on or for in the next couple of weeks, and in San Antonio, part of the summit in San Antonio will be for missing persons. That's new. There are missing Wisconsin. Okay, Wisconsin. I remember that. I know you're not. I know there's other people in Wisconsin, but But yeah, I remember discussing Wisconsin. My mom is about 9 months sober. So Stephanie, I guess you're aware we have the series. I'm sorry for all this you're going through. Stephanie says my husband passed of an overdose, and my brother and boyfriend are both addicted to fentanyl currently. And yeah, that really is heartbreaking. And so, we have a series of addiction recovery stories on our channel, and maybe for your brother and boyfriend, maybe maybe there'd be some value in them watching some of the recovery stories. Maybe. Brenda says, Stephanie, your plate is full. Congrats to the mother. Does boyfriend or brother want to get clean? And Brenda really touched on something there. Wanting to get clean is such a vital thing that if before they go to rehab or do a 12-step program or do whatever, first they gotta wanna. They have to want to. Otherwise, it's just wasting time. Stephanie says, I send your videos to them all the time. I guess the mostly the fentanyl stories. The there's some crossover between the fentanyl stories and the addiction recovery stories. They both there some of them have elements of recovery and elements of fentanyl. So yeah, there's several new ones that are men sharing stories. One's a former police officer, and they all have really powerful stories. That in the recovery series, there is a Thomas Reef and Danny something, and a couple of others. There's some of the newest ones, but I feel like because I guess mainly because it's men given their recovery stories that there's some extra connection there in terms of the kind of stories that would be good to share with your brother and boyfriend. Brenda says, Stephanie, keep sending the videos. You never know when God will use one of them, use one to get them ready to get clean. He works when we least expect it. At least he did with me. And Stephanie, Brenda's right with her. Brenda regularly credits our videos and the channel and the chats as a big part of her recovery, which is awesome. Misty Morris. I lost my cousin a year ago, August, of fentanyl overdose. Was thinking he was smoking meth. It's, that's terrible. I'm sorry, Misty. I'm grateful for you to be here. Uh, we in this wonderful supportive community. We all kind of try to help each other. Kimberly says she is 12 years now in recovery off of cannabis and alcohol. And if anyone reads cannabis and thinks, well, that's no big deal, we have a series on cannabis induced psychosis that is pretty powerful. There's over 20 episodes, and that might help you understand what kind of potential dangers there are with cannabis better. You should explore that. Brenda says, Misty, I'm so sorry about your cousin right now. The meth is dangerous on two fronts. It is over 93% pure, highest ever in the United States, and the remaining percentage is fentanyl. So yeah, that is definitely that's two fronts for sure. Misty Morris says thank you. And Kimberly says, Misty, I know you are grieving and in pain. And so we here as a group are there for you. Brina, I loved Jeffrey's videos. At first I couldn't watch because they brought flashbacks of my daughter being paralyzed. Now I use them to strengthen my recovery. I'm sorry, Brina, did you? Jeffrey's story is one I think of every day. I miss that. I missed the scrolly thing, the chat. We'll call it the chat. That'd be more responsible, I suppose. The 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 chat will it doesn't scroll smoothly in this interface that I'm working within. Jeffrey's story is a powerful story. There's three stories on our channel about Jeffrey. Yeah. Jeffrey, uh, I remember meeting Jeffrey. Yeah. So, but I was telling you guys about the new series, and we have a graphic for it. I believe I shared it last time, but here it is again. This is a coming soon series for the Texas Pictures Documentaries channel that we will be doing these stories. That's part of some of the stories that we will be shooting in San Antonio in a few weeks will be for the Still Missing series. And we are going to be doing other stories as well. I believe it kind of depends on who signs up. But we'll be in San Antonio on, I believe, February 7th is when the event is. And so probably 6th and 7th, maybe even the 5th. We'll see. Brenda says, Misty, you're very welcome, but you don't need to thank me. I feel I get so much more from this chat than I give. You guys really do save me all the time. And Misty says, I'm so sorry, Kimberly. I'll be praying for you. I love the missing background, much more appealing than the solid black background. Well, we have gotten away from the solid black background for the fentanyl stories too. We have uh, we try to create backgrounds now that extend all the way across the thumbnail, and usually we're able to. But the missing, that's going to be the main background. In individual stories in the series, we'll have a picture of the missing person and the date they were last seen and the location they were last seen at, like city and state. And aside from that, we'll figure out the rest kind of as we go. It's a new topic for us, and I know a little bit about it, but just a little bit. And so we'll learn as we go. Bye, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this, says Misty. Misty, you have a good evening, and thank you for being a part of this. It means a lot every time anyone joins this group. It's a big deal. April says in San Antonio, Texas, February, Glenn, I have a mom in Texas who wants to share what you changed, who wants to share what you changed the background. Cool. Thank you, April. Yeah, I have a mom in Texas who wants to share the numbers. Midwest mom, are you asking about the fentanyl numbers? The fentanyl numbers are reportedly going down. That's hardly, I mean, that's good news, but it's not news that anyone can reasonably brag about, especially no government official can brag about, because uh, there is no there is no credit to be had. The numbers right now are still for 2025 for sure, and still 2024. Uh, they show a trend. The trend actually began near the end of the Biden administration, but it didn't have anything to do with what Biden did. It had to do with, I think, what awareness organizations did. More than anything, the outcry from parents and the active pursuit of awareness by parents who create nonprofit organizations to get into schools and to reach the general public and to distribute naloxone and things like that. Those grassroots efforts to increase awareness were probably a much larger contributor to the, it's not really that it's a decline, it's that it's a slowdown in the rate of growth. But uh, there's no government official qualified to claim credit for any improvement in the fentanyl situation. That the whole fentanyl. Let me just get you the facts right here, because it we hear from people pretty regularly who will make comments and say that it's all Biden's fault, or it is all uh, whoops. They'll say it's all Biden's fault, or it's all Trump's fault, or it's the government, or it's the Mexican government. It's because of the open borders. So, according to the CDC, the increasing presence of fentanyl in illicit drugs began in 2013. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services declared the opioid crisis a public health emergency in 2017. Deaths from illicit fentanyl have increased dramatically, consistently for the last 12 years, with no change in the trend related to any change in administration or border policy. The crisis spans 4 administrations and includes both parties. Over 86%, over 86% of the people convicted for smuggling fentanyl in the U.S. from Mexico are U.S. citizens. Over 86%. Only 0.2% of all illegal immigrants arrested by Border Patrol are found to have any fentanyl at all. These are just the numbers. These are just facts. Uh, there's no arguing that. So the idea that whoever the current president is had an impact on the fentanyl death rate isn't realistic. It's not them that is improving things. It could be that part of what's making the death rate slow is that cartels and the manufacturers of the drug are doing better at it. It could be that they're doing a better job of measuring out a dose that isn't lethal when they're making these counterfeit pills. That could be it too. So let me see where I'm at. Midwest, the numbers are going down. Let's see. April, you are so right. They're going down because over 500,000 lost their lives and their loved ones have rallied. So over 500,000 people have lost their lives, and so that's easily affected a million people, family members, siblings, parents, whatever. And so they're pissed off. April says a collaboration of families effectively working together. For sure. April says, I'm sorry, Midwest Mama says, I don't know why. My curiosity wants to know. I wonder what were the highest years and the least amount of numbers in years. The most rapid growth in fatalities was during Trump's first term. The crisis began during Obama, 2013. The crisis was identified as a significant danger in 2013. So that would really be when the first bite at the apple took place. The highest death rates were 2020 to 2022, and then they kind of arc and start to decline a little bit. And data after that is still provisional, still preliminary data. It isn't official yet. Midwest Mama says, I'm okay, just grieving. I had a celebration of life yesterday, and it's been rough. I'm sure that those celebrations of life events can be, they're a little bit taxing, but they're also a great opportunity to do just what the name says. That to stand with the loved one's most significant legacy is probably the friends that are there. And to stand with all of them is a great blessing to get to do that. Brenda says, Midwest, you know these numbers are estimates. Many fentanyl deaths are missed for a number of reasons. The top two are older people who die with no autopsy, and it's called natural causes. So, yes, that's absolutely right. These are the numbers that exist. Midwest Family, yes, so true. Only a percentage is reported with toxicology reports. The other reason is rich people who buy their way out of an addiction scandal. Maybe, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to find evidence of that. April says, true, Brenda. It's the demands of people constantly buying it. That's the thing. That's the driving force. Hello, Linda. Thank you for being here. Glad you're here. Linda is a little depressed. And Viola's here. Holy cow. Awesome. Awesome. Linda, what's got you feeling a little depressed? So now and then I just want to remind you guys, I'm not any kind of counselor. I don't have any training. I listen to people and I speak from my heart, but I am not a counselor. I am not qualified to provide that kind of guidance. I'm very grateful to be here. So I just want to throw that out now and then. Linda, I lost my daughter in December 9 years ago. Grandma Viola. Kimberly's calling Viola Grandma Viola. Goodness, this is going to get ugly, isn't it? Linda, anniversary. Brenda says, Linda, anniversaries never get easier. I'm sorry for your loss. Thanks. No, it sometimes gets harder. Midwest Mama, what did I miss? I seen not what they did, but who they are. Hello, Brenda. Viola says the hello, Brenda. Old lady was napping while trying to watch Aaron, and the Steelers almost missed this. Yeah, we are going to be wrapping it up pretty soon, though. Grandma, you are Steelers fan. It does get harder every year without them. Says April. Mm, all right, Steelers fan. These lovely mothers coming in. I'm so sorry. Nobody is demanding illicit fentanyl poisoning, Kimberly. Hello, the real creative minds. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you joining us. And Viola says it's okay. Tracy says, I'm going to have to leave now. I have a grandbaby demanding my attention, but I wanted to thank you, Glenn, for allowing me to share Patrick's story. I want to thank everyone for all the love and compassion. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you very much for being a part of the series and for sharing the story and for making people aware, for trying to help people. It's wonderful. And you're welcome to come back anytime we do a live. We try to do these live events every Monday and then once or twice throughout the rest of the week as well. And it really kind of depends on what's happening in our schedule, if we're traveling or not, and how many stories we have to publish and that kind of thing. Brenda says Viola Aaron would put me to sleep too. He's over and just don't know it. Sorry, you're a Steelers fan. I think there is an anonymous group for you guys to meet. And the real creative mind says, hit the thumbs up button, please, if you haven't did so. Yeah. The thumbs up button, what it does is it influences how YouTube looks at the series, looks at the video, how YouTube interprets that the viewers liked it, and then it's more likely to recommend it to more viewers. So that's how it helps. Tracy says, thanks, Viola, and good night, April. So we will talk soon. I'm certain. So we had a thing happen on our channel a few days ago that was pretty interesting. That we had one of our stories just kind of went viral for a while, and it was just a short. It was just a minute long video taken out of a longer video from episode 100, Wade Green's story, and the short is called "Narcan Wears Off." And in the last 2 days, it's had a couple of 100,000 views. And the short's been on our channel over a year. And it just went, phew. Don't understand what happened. Good night, Midwest Mama. Thank you for being here. Brenda says, Tracy, thanks again. I guess the grandbaby for me. Patrick's story will help many for years to come. God bless. Kimberly says, Midwest, I am keeping you in my prayers. I have run out of coffee, folks, so it is close to time. Ah, yes, Brenda. What you take for granted, someone else is praying for. I always make a big deal out of that because it is a big deal. It's so important to be grateful, to recognize all the things you have to be grateful for right now. And that sentence really hammers that home. I can't hear you. Is it my phone? I think so. Maybe. I hear me. Yeah, April, it's your phone. Sorry. But uh we are gonna wrap it up. I wanna make sure I'm not sure when our next story will be. Hopefully the next one will be on Wednesday. We'll see. We'll see. But I am very grateful for you guys joining us again and sharing and showing this level of support for each other. I can't stress enough how easy it is to become a part of our private group on Facebook, Texas Picture Storytellers. If you want to be a storyteller at some point, if you've got something, uh, if you've got a story that matters, maybe it's about fentanyl, maybe it's about human trafficking, or maybe it's about cannabis induced psychosis, or about a missing person, or about suicide, mental health, impaired driving, any kind of story that matters. We're ready to tell your story when you're ready to share your story. So, uh, where am I? I'm confused. I get confused easy. You know, public schools. April says, thanks, Brent. I guess it's time for me to go. Good night, everyone. Thank you for all who support this channel and us, the storytellers. Good night. God bless you all. Good night, April. Thank you for being here. Linda, good night. Uh, Kimberly, we're shutting it down. So good night to you too, Kimberly, and good night to everybody. But I always like to take a minute to remind you guys that you're welcome to reach out to us anytime. Our email address is info at texas-pictures.com. You can find us on Facebook under my name, Glenn Muse. You can send me a friend request and then message me a reminder that you'd like to be part of our private Facebook group, and I will send you an invite. You can also learn more about Texas Pictures on our website, texas-pictures.com. You can find out information about how to share your story. You can visit our merchandise store, which is always very weird to me, but we've got one. And you can find out more about us, like our mailing address, phone number, the little bit of the history of Texas Pictures, which was established back in 2007. So, thank you all very much for joining us. And I wish you all a good night. We will see you next time.